Hello, friends, and trust we've all had our week going well. So, today I'll be talking about writing your CV. So, when writing your CV for a master's program, you want to write it like you're actually applying for your next job role. You get so we find people just write CV very shabby, and I'm like, you're applying for masters. Okay, but then today I'm just going to take you through a quick rundown on how to draft your CV. So when drafting your CV for a master's program, ensure that you take out those things that we put in a typical Nigerian CV, which is state of origin, ethnic, religion, marital status. They don't need those information. So just ensure that you take them out. Make sure that it has your correct email, it has your correct phone numbers, your name spelled out properly. And then, of course, your statement, that statement that we all write at the top of our CV, I'm this, I'm that. Make sure that it's short and precise. Then now, coming to your educational background, ensure that when you're writing your educational qualification, you have the name of the school, the course you study, and the class, what's it called now? The year you started and the year you ended. So say you started your program in 2019, just don't write 2019. So what month did you start in 2019 and when did you end it in 2023? You kind of want to give an exact, you don't need to get the exact date, that is the day, but at least ensure that the month and the year is on your CV. And then when you're writing BA English linguistics, so you kind of want to write that in full. You write the name of your school in full. Then that same applies to when you're writing for your high school too. Then to the main part of your CV that really used to get me when I see applicants send CV is that work experience. Why exactly are you writing your personal your CV without a description of what you usually do? Like, okay, so let me just go back. I want to try not to vent. So, like, if you're writing that part of your CV, ensure that in your job description, so you have worked at ABC Logistics Company. That is the name of your employer, right? Then you were the logistics manager or operation manager. That is your job title. Make sure that is there. Then your job description, at least ensure that you list every of your job description. I don't expect that you type out everything typically, but the major parts that applies to show that you have relevant experience for this course that you're applying for. You're applying for logistics and supply chain management. You have worked with a logistic company, or even if you had not, say you had worked with a management company, or just all you do is operation management in where you're coming from. You want to list everything that you do as an operation manager, day-to-day running of the company, inventory, calculation, that and that. You want to ensure that your job description is well listed out. And then start and end of your job. Just don't put 2019 to 2020. March 2019 to December 2020. That explains the period where you worked there. It explains what your job role was. It explains what your job description was. It gives a full name of the company that you're employed with. So this kind of I'm looking at your CV, I'm saying, oh, do they meet the basic academic requirements for this course? No, they really don't. Okay, let's see their work experience. And this applies to you guys that already have long study gap. You already have about 10 years. You left university in 2012. And then you're applying for masters in 2013. And you're not listing out your job role. Yo, guys, we can do better. So all this is just to help you. You find people come and say, I just submitted my transcript and my WAEC and my degree certificate, and I got conditional offer and all of that. These days is getting different. There are schools that would do that, say 2 years ago, but right now some schools don't even have that time. They are not giving us what we want to see, so they move on to the next application and reject your application. How would that make you feel? So ensure that your CV explains your work experience. It gives a detail of your academic background, qualification, and for people that maybe you worked on paper. And then please, guys, that you're applying for social work or nursing and all of that, ensure that you put all the volunteering jobs that you've done that is related to these things. All these things help push your application to a good point of you getting an admission. So that's all that I'll be talking about today before I go on and bore you guys. But just ensure that you have a strong, when you're applying for a job and they say ensure that you have a strong CV. So when applying for a master's or a PhD program, these things can be overlooked by admission officers for undergraduate. But for master students, some admission officers they can be a lot. So you want to ensure that your CV is well written. So if you have further questions, if you have personal questions that relate to you studying abroad and you need to talk to me, send a DM and I'll be there to answer you. Also, remember that it's better to start early than to wait till May. Have a lovely day. Bye.